Today is a day, and we are going to be showing you how to do a tutorial of how to survive Doors IRL, including food and water things, because I don't know, I'm just a bit bored. I don't know. Okay, so this area is a indoor area, which means you would not have to worry about it being too cold or too warm for your body to automatically freeze or heat up to death. But it's a different question about the food. Water, there's a plentiful amount of because of the rain and also sinks. But the food is an entirely different matter. Although maybe we should get to that part later, because I think the thing that would counter whether you survive or not would be the entities as well. So most of the entities, you just need to look for audio cues. As in Rush and Ambush, they would naturally give an audio cue, so you know where to go after you hear the audio cue. Screeches also give you a pretty clear audio cue, but you have to pay attention to the particular noises to know your next actions, which is not that hard to do. Yet there are others that don't have these audio cues, similar to Halt, which gives visual cues. Hide also would normally give visual cues. We don't know if these would appear IRL, but we can assume so. So then we have Dupe, which, if you pay close enough attention, can be easy to avoid. Or if you just go up next to the door and listen, you could hear Dupe, because Dupe's kind of loud. Now, there's like a few others that you only see a few times, like Figure and Seek. Figure, you know when to expect, and Figure's naturally pretty loud, so you'll be able to hear Figure very well at his location. So then, all you need to do is to be quieter than Figure, which can differ between the kind of person you are, whether you're naturally loud or naturally quiet. So that depends on you. Okay, so when the other threats that is most definitely guaranteed to be seen would be Seek, who's one that would run after you. So this one depends on your fitness stability, on whether you can run away. You have to be able to run faster and run long enough, as well as dodging particular things. So I think the easier thing to do is just go around, if that's possible. I don't think that's possible. Although if it is, you just need to simply break a window and go around the chase. Now, one thing that's preventing you from sleep would be this creature called Dread. Dread appears in a room if you're taking way too long to come out of it, which might be only a problem whenever you're trying to go to sleep, which means you can't sleep for very long. You have to change rooms while you're sleeping. So that might be better if you're a sleepwalking person, but if you're not, you're gonna have barely any sleep. You're gonna be crazy. If you are arachnophobic or afraid of spiders, you better not be looking in the drawers, because there is a chance you see a tiny spider named Timothy in them. He doesn't do that much damage, but he jump scares you. And he might hurt you a little bit, but not that much. It's just something to mention if you're afraid of spiders. If you're not, then good for you. Look in those drawers for those batteries. Now, there is a small chance you will meet a small child. This small child's name is Sally, and she appears in the windows. But she can do a lot of damage. So it's safer just to try to distract her with whatever. It doesn't matter. But you do not want to get hit by this little kid. Trust me. Now, there are a few other entities in this part of the area, but you're less likely to see them. Like, there's a chance of you meeting Jack, who kicks you out of closets, I guess. And like a few others. It depends what mode you're playing also, but I'm pretty sure we're talking about normal mode here, so you don't need to go into that other parts. Anyways, now for the big problem. Food. So, the biggest problem we can see is the food, because we don't know what's edible here. Which means, most of the time, in these runs, if this is IRL, you might have to commit to cannibalism, because that's the easiest food you're going to get here. Trust me. The second easiest would probably be screeches, which you have to try to clean them without touching them, because you know what happens whenever you touch that is that it gets on you and then you can be possessed. I'm just telling you that as a warning. And then you have to skin them and blah blah blah. And eat them. Voila. But that's even easier than getting most of the entities, because I'm not sure how you're going to hunt down a dupe. I don't think you know how to catch a rush or ambush, so you might have to commit to some cannibalism if there's other players. If there's not any other players, I guess you'd be eating screeches or whatever. The food is the hardest option, I'll just say. Although, if you survive to the hotel, to the library, congratulations, you get a new food source. You might be able to, if you can hunt down the figure, then you can eat the figure. Although, there are a few other foods we know are edible, but some of them are very disturbing to get. Anyways, so, yeah. I think those disassembled food sources would be Giggle, or in this area, Screech, Figure, and other players. Yeah. Not a very nice meal, I'll just say that. But it's pretty much nothing else here, unless you want to eat Jeff. Now in like room 53 or so, there's a shopkeeper you meet named Jeff, and a little goblin that's apparently Spanish, El Goblino, and of course this dead guy named Bob. Yeah. You can't buy food from there though, although I'd like to see you try though. But from what we know, you can't buy food. You can buy other items that can help you, like this flashlight with batteries in them. A skeleton key. Although I'm not sure if you want to try that area yet. If your goal is just to survive, I'm not sure you would need to go into sub-rooms, because it's only going to get harder to get food in those areas. Although you might want to use it for the aloe plants instead, because that'll help you kind of with burns and stuff, I guess. Or at least that's what it does, IRL, is help you with like burns. I'm not sure if it's the same here or not. Oh yeah, we were on food last. Anyways, you wanna know, how do I cook the food? I don't think it's safe to eat these things raw. And I say, look for those little fireplace things and cook it there. And like, I don't know, you find what to cook it with. You're probably gonna find nothing, but you're gonna have to learn some way to eat. Unless you don't want to eat, therefore you'll starve. And then you die from something else because you're too weak to escape from that entity. And you're probably going to end up a meal. Because I think that's not going to work. You're going to have to eat. Sorry if it's disturbing. Now, if you're lucky and you get to the greenhouse, you might be able to find a few edible plants there if you're tired of eating the flesh of other entities or your teammates. Then You can try to find something, I guess. I don't know. Maybe you're okay with just the meat. I don't know if there's anything edible in there, though. So, good luck finding anything. Except for snares. Ugh. No, that's pretty much the hotel. Now, if you thought the hotel was gonna be hard, then you should check for the mines. The next area is actually gonna be harder than this for 2 reasons. Okay, so first let's get to the harder stuff about the mines. There are more entities here, like the giggles and grumble species. The grumbles are the bigger ones that are matured adults, or very close to that. And giggles are the ones you'll be eating more often because you'll have to have some way to eat. They're easier to catch than screeches. Actually, probably that's not true. I don't know. Is that true? They'd be easier to eat than screeches, I guess. So then you have to deal with that. Of course, there's gloom bats, which you should not eat. Don't eat bugs. That's weird. I don't think they're edible. And then there's this little rat you'll meet. If you trade with the little rat, the rat might give you a bit more food. So the easier thing about this is that there's a lot more food options. Like you still have figure in here in a few areas. And you also have this rat who trades for food, which might be good for you. The harder things to get is first you're in a cave, which means it's going to be a colder climate. Like way colder in some areas and warmer in others, which means it would be a little bit more uncomfortable, especially when you're wet. If you're wet, you're more likely to get hypothermia. So that would be fun. Totally. Also, there's a lot less water here, although there is areas with a lot of water, and there's areas where you have to go under the water, which is highly dangerous in a cave. But you have to do what you have to do, is go underwater. So, yeah. The water would be a bit more scarce, but in the areas where there is water, there's a lot more of it than in the hotel. So that's pretty nice, I guess. Is that in the areas where there is water, there's a lot more than in the hotel, so, yeah. Those would be the issues, other than the entities. The gloom bats will be eaten by figure if you see them near figure. But otherwise, you have to make sure not to keep light sources around you. Except for weirdly glow sticks. I don't know why. Glow sticks won't let them bother you. They'll bother the glow sticks though. So don't keep any lights near you, or you'll be killed, and then eaten by their larvae. Yay! And then the grumbles, which I think eat humans as well. They're similar to social insects, except for they go through an incomplete metamorphosis, from what I can assume, and they also are mammals. So that's their differences in between social insects, but other than that, they're basically social insects. So you can take that into context. They're like really huge ants. Just imagine them as big ants. What? What? What am I doing? Okay, whatever. Anyways, there's a few areas in this that might be a little bit more dangerous than others. Like the seek chases, you don't only just need to run, but you have to jump. And you have to know how a minecart operates. Yay! So if you have no idea how the minecarts operate, you're kind of screwed. Okay, next point. Jeff's shop has water in it. Okay, so you get water there. I just don't think you get food still. You can't get food from Jeff's shop unless you want to eat Jeff, which I think most people would not be willing to do. So then, after that, there's it's like the sewers area where you'll find water underneath. But I'm not sure if you want to drink that water. It might not be safe to drink. But if you're a person dying from thirst, it would not matter. Just drink the water, okay? If you're not dying from thirst, don't drink it. It probably has deadly diseases in there. And also you have another seek/grumble chase. And then you have a big platforming thing to do. Try not to die or fall, I guess. And then voila, you're in the woods. Which there's going to be a lot of water from one direction, a river another, and trees. And then you're at the third location, the castle, which I have not seen the inside of. But from what I can know, it's probably nothing very helpful for you. Except for that it's indoors and you won't be getting rain on you. And I guess that's it for that area. It's a few other areas like subfloors to test out, I guess. If I really want to. Maybe I should try one. Okay, to the next thing. The reason I mention this particular area is because it's in between the hotel and the mines, and you can technically get to the mines from this area if you want to skip half the mines. You go through here. But this place seems to be outside, and it seems to have a lot of indoor places, but that doesn't mean it's going to be easy to survive, right? First, you have to avoid this guy who will stab you if you touch the grass. Now you might be like, why? Why is this guy so serious about the grass? And I say, it's because of the lotus flower plant, or whatever that is. The lotus plant, which has been possessing things. It's like the seek of the outdoors, I guess. And the groundskeeper just doesn't want you to touch the grass because he doesn't want you to get possessed. But if you do, he will kill you now before you become a problem later. Even if you do not get possessed, he doesn't want to take that risk. Anyways, if you pay attention, this person saves you multiple times from creatures. So, it's just because of the lotus plant, and if the lotus plant has any way of getting to you, you will get killed by him. That is why he kills you. Okay, so then there's a few other entities, like the spark thing, which you can hide in a house or a closet, which is kind of strange because wouldn't lightning absolutely destroy closets? The house might be understood if there are lightning rods, although I'm not sure Doors is taken in the time that lightning rods were invented, so although it's a completely different dimension, so maybe there's lightning rods. I don't know. Maybe they don't need lightning rods. Maybe lightning is very weak. I don't know. But that's how you get away from that one. And then there's the lotus flower plant thingy, whatever, which has a few entities that possesses this lamp thing that acts similar to figure. You, in the same way, that reacts to its noise, and it's looking whenever the light's on. Because of echolocation, Or maybe you don't know. I don't know what you know about echolocation. Basically, it's the thing bats use. Okay, next point. There's a bunch of trees that looks at you weirdly. Those are called eye stalks. You get chased by one. Yeah, it sounds a bit weird. You get chased by a tree. Yes, you get chased by a tree. Which might not It might sound hilarious now, but if you experience it IRL, it'd be kind of scary. Unless you have something that can burn down trees, like a lighter. What? Okay, so then, what's next? Now, the food source. You might be able to eat mandrakes, which if you don't know what a mandrake is, it's basically a little thing that screams at you. If you ever read Harry Potter, you would you didn't immediately know what a mandrake is. Hopefully. But if you haven't, and you never played Doors, you have no idea what a mandrake is. Do you? It's just a thing that screams at you, and if it screams for too long, you die. But if you kill it, you might be able to eat it. Or at least put it in potions. I don't know if you know how to brew those. So, we can assume you can just eat them, I guess. But apart from that, the outdoors is harder to get any food in than the other areas because you can't touch grass, and most of the things are not edible. Unless you get lucky and find plants on the ground in the walkway. But other than that, it might be easier just to risk the mines. I'll just tell you that. Because of the low food shortage, and you can't touch grass. Although there are areas where you're forced to touch grass, but you have to make sure nobody's around when you do it. The grass is very dangerous. Just don't touch the grass. Okay. So now we get to the weirder parts of the questions. Just the weird questions. So there's a few other things to be aware about. Like, I'm not sure whether particular things would change the outcome. Some particular things might change the outcome of what happens. Whether you're accustomed to surviving out in the wild, or if you're just accustomed to be out into a quieter area, might change the outcome whether you played the game a lot or haven't. There's different outcomes that can come out of different situations. Yet there is a chance that the expert would not be able to succeed, yet the person who knows nothing can. It depends in areas as in capability, stamina, and how long you can survive without food if you don't want to eat each other. Okay. So that's the points that might be needed. I'm pretty sure that other things wouldn't matter too much. There's a few other things you could try to figure out that I would not say here because I don't want to. Well, I guess that's all for now. So, did this tutorial help you or not? It's probably not going to be of any use except for entertainment because that is a very unlikely situation to happen. Okay, bye.